This YCN segment is brought to you by Bubba's Bar and Grill on Lake Sunapee in Newberry Harbor.
You're watching the New Hampshire Association of Broadcasters award-winning YCN Game of the Week. Today we're in the Upper Valley for a gridiron clash between the Raiders of Lebanon and the Tigers of Newport. YCN Game of the Week is brought to you by La Valley Building Supply, home improvement and construction from concept to completion. Mascoma Savings Bank. With no shareholders to please, they are committed to remaining independent and to reinvesting profits in the community. Bubba's Bar and Grill, offering fresh salads, hearty sandwiches, brick oven pizza, entrees, and award-winning seafood chowder. Echo Communications, a digitally integrated commercial printer and mailer located in New London, New Hampshire. MJ Harrington and Company, jewelers and designers since 1948. HR Clough and Kearsarge Heating, your local energy specialist. My TV, now available every weeknight from 8 to 10 on WYCI and WYCU. And by Mount Sunapee, a special New Hampshire ski and summer resort.
Good evening and welcome to Lebanon, New Hampshire for tonight's Division III high school football matchup between the Newport Tigers and the Lebanon Raiders. Hello everyone, I'm Jeremy Stout. I'll be joined shortly by my broadcast partner Andrew Zerhide, and tonight both teams looking to kick off the season. These teams have not faced each other since 2001, so it'll be interesting to see how they match up. And as we talk about last season, Andrew, the Lebanon Raiders, disappointing season. They're going to look to start strong. The Newport Tigers coming off a tough playoff loss, but a good season. They lost a lot of players. What should we look for tonight?
Yeah, so for the Tigers, I really think their offensive line is going to be strong. One guy we're going to be keeping an eye on is a senior, Gavin Lovely. He's going to be big on the line. And look out for Joey Ackerman, a running back. He's also a senior. They're probably going to be sticking to the ground a lot. It's going to be a lot of running here.
All right, and for the Lebanon Raiders, like I said, a disappointing season last year. They dropped down to Division III, so it'll be a new set of opponents for the Raiders this year. Who should we look for on the Lebanon side?
Yeah, so similar to the Tigers on the Lebanon side, we're going to be keeping an eye on senior Ryan Sullivan and junior Wade Rainey. They're both running backs. I really think both of these teams are going to be running the ball a lot tonight. Linebackers are going to have to move their feet because this is going to be a running game for sure.
All right, it is the YCN Game of the Week, the Tigers and the Raiders, after this.
This YCN segment is brought to you by Echo Communications, a digitally integrated commercial printer.
Welcome back to the YCN Game of the Week, and welcome to our Facebook Live audience, Lebanon, New Hampshire, where the Tigers and the Raiders are set to kick off. And as we mentioned in the pregame, first time since 2001, the Raiders moving down to Division III. And the kick is away by the Tigers. The Raiders first to receive at the 20-yard line. It'll be returned, and on the return there, number 15 for the Raiders, cutting back, and he cuts back towards the sideline.
Wow.
He's got some daylight, one guy to beat, and it looks like it was the kicker possibly who pushed him out of bounds. And that's number 15, Ryan Sullivan, on the big return. It looks like that'll be
first down Raiders.
Took it from about the 20-yard line. They're going to spot it at the Newport 26. So 54-yard return there. That's the way to start the season.
Yeah, nice job by Ryan Sullivan there. Really looked like maybe he should have just gone down, but he found a hole, went back around, picked up about an extra, it looked like 30 or 40 yards there. Nice job by him.
So the Raiders will start with the ball now on the Newport 26. Under center will be the junior number 5, Jonathan Willeman. One running back behind him, number 22, Wade Rainey. Man goes in motion, and that is Sullivan, taken off the left side, and he's tackled by 3 Newport defenders for a short gain.
Today's game is being brought to you in part by Mascoma Savings Bank, mutually owned with no shareholders to please. If you want your local game, event, parade, or concert televised into YCN's nearly 300,000 TV households, now on DirecTV and Dish. Contact us at info@ycnnow.com for more information.
So a 3-yard gain for the Raiders. It'll bring up 2nd and 7 here in the first quarter. First drive of the new football season. Handoff again. Sullivan, or no, excuse me, that was number 36.
Tackled by number
A few yards on the gain there off the right side.
Gained about 4 on the play.
So we'll bring up
3rd down, 2 to go.
3rd and 2. Williman under center. 2 running backs behind him. Takes the snap, the immediate handoff, and up the middle, number 22 on the run. That's Wade Rainey. He's going to get the first down and plenty more inside the 10-yard line. Looks like they'll spot the ball just shy of the 5.
Nice job by Wade Rainey there. Really a bit of a power back, fighting through some contact, dragging a couple of defenders, picking up a couple of extra yards. The Raiders are threatening early.
And as you mentioned in the pregame, a lot of running plays, keeping the ball on the ground, and we've seen nothing but that in this first drive. Another handoff, and once again, that one goes to Rainey. He's off left tackle. Is going to be stopped, though,
Gain of 5 will be 2nd down in the
just
yard.
to the 1-yard line. So 2nd and goal from the 1.
Stay tuned at the end of our telecast for the H.R. Clough Kearsarge Heating Turning Up the Heat Player of the Game. We'll choose the team member that had the greatest impact on today's contest.
Clock moving, approaching 9:30 to play here in the first quarter. Opening drive of the season. Raiders taking the opening kickoff back 54 yards. And now they have a chance to put one in the end zone from a yard out. Williman under center, and Rainey is stuffed at the line of scrimmage. Newport had the play call there on the defensive side, stopping the ball carrier. That'll bring up 3rd down.
We knew Newport had a strong offensive line. I'm sure some of those players played 2 ways and are also on that defensive line. Pretty good stops here. Facing now 3rd down.
So 3rd and 1, and you would imagine, Andrew, in the early going this season, this is 4-down territory. So you got 2 cracks at it right here.
Yep, no question.
Williman under center. Again, it goes to Rainey. This time he gets through for the touchdown.
22,
Wade Rainey gets the bulk of the carries there and pays off with the touchdown. 8:36 to play here in the first quarter. 6-0. Raiders scoring. Andrew, just like you said, they kept it on the ground, moved it after a great field position start based on the kickoff return, but still, give them credit. They moved the ball pretty nicely that drive.
Yeah, they did. And of course, like you said, Ryan Sullivan setting that up at the kickoff return, keeping it on the ground. Easy touchdown for the Raiders.
And the extra point is good, makes it 7-0. So after one drive, Lebanon leads at 7-0. Newport will get the ball when we come back. You're watching the YCN Game of the Week.
This YCN segment is brought to you by Harris Family Furniture in Plymouth, Laconia, and Chichester.
Welcome back. YCN Game of the Week. Jeremy Stout, Andrew Zerhide, Raiders and Tigers. Raiders taking the first drive, 26 yards on the 1-yard touchdown run by Wade Rainey. Now the Tigers get the ball. They'll take it from just about the 10-yard line, and on the return gets tripped up there. That's for the Tigers, number 19, J.T. Blaine, the senior.
J.T. Blaine on the return.
And they'll start with the ball at their own 22-yard line.
Childs on the tackle. It'll be first down. Ball will be at their own. We'll call it the 23-yard line.
In addition to airing on our 3 TV stations, all YCN games are posted for your viewing pleasure anytime at YCNnow.com.
First play from scrimmage for the Tigers. Handoff up the middle. That's going to go to number 28 for the Tigers, Jagger Lovely, the sophomore running back. He'll get a bulk of the carries from that Newport backfield.
Jagger Lovely on the carry. Tackled by Caleb Smith. Second down, Newport.
Looks like that'll be second down and 8. Once again, another handoff off the right side.
28 Jagger Lovely.
And Lovely gets the carry again, picks up a couple of yards.
Tackled by number 85, Cole Ames.
So that'll bring up
Third down,
and Newport will have its work cut out for them here. 3rd and 6.
long 5 yards to go.
See what they do here. If they do keep it on the ground, trust that offensive line,
Ball's on the Newport 27-yard line.
or they put it in the air. Quarterback under center with 2 running backs behind him. Joey Ackerman, the senior quarterback. He'll keep it, rushed by 3-4 defenders, and he's finally wrapped up after a
Tackle
big
for loss on the play.
loss.
22 Wade Rainey at 37.
And that's going to go back to the 17-yard line.
Mellish will bring a 4th down and long.
So a long loss there, and that'll bring up 4th down. Newport will be forced to punt. Inside 7 minutes to play, trailing 7-0. Andrew, a couple plays on the ground, kept it there, but when you got 3rd and long, you got to try something and air it out. It didn't quite happen for Newport.
Yeah, no, the offensive line, Newport clearly have some holes right there. Nice job by the Raider defense.
So the punt is away. The punt will be received at the Lebanon 48-yard line. Cutting to the left side, and there looks like some room down the sideline for number 87. And he'll be tackled before he gets to the end zone, but not before he picks up a number of yards.
Plodzik on the return. Forced out of bounds. About the 14-yard line will be 1st down for the Raiders on the Newport 14.
So a change of possession there. And the Raiders will take over. This time they'll get the ball inside the Newport 15-yard line.
Today's telecast is being brought to you in part by MJ Harrington, jewelers and designers in Newport, New Hampshire. And you can watch any of our local shows anytime at YCNnow.com.
Handoff goes to number 15, Ryan Sullivan. So he's seeing the good amount of carries here, him and Rainey. Looks like that'll be a short gain. 2nd and about 9 yards. Williman under center. Man goes in motion, and immediately hit in the backfield is the ball carrier. And that was Rainey. So, Andrew, after having some good success on that first drive, Newport has really throttled this running game so far in this early couple plays.
Yeah, they're doing a nice job of picking up the ball carrier where the ball is going. Starting to read this Lebanon offense a little bit here.
So we'll see what kind of tricks Coach Childs has here on 3rd and 11. Williman dropping back. He has a man in the end zone, but just overthrows his receiver, Bradley Plodzik. So that'll be an incompletion. And 4th down and long. Decision time here for Childs. Obviously, go for it or kick the field goal. And a couple substitutions coming in. 5 minutes, 1 second to play here on the YCN Game of the Week opening night for our game and the Raiders and Tigers as well. Lebanon elects to go for it unless they're going to try the pooch punt with Williman. He's going to drop back and throw. Fires it up, almost completed, but just past the outstretched hands of Ryan Sullivan. That'll fall incomplete. That'll be a turnover on downs. We'll take a break inside 5 minutes to play. You're watching the YCN Game of the Week.
This YCN segment is brought to you by H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating, your local energy specialist.
Welcome back. YCN Game of the Week. Jeremy Stout, Andrew Zerhide. Newport Tigers taking over on downs after the Raiders go for it on fourth down. Incomplete pass, and in the shotgun now is the QB, and he'll keep it himself. And that's number 1, Joey Ackerman, showing some athleticism, keeping the ball, and gains just about 9 yards, a yard shy of the first down. Once again, Newport keeping it on the ground and trying to get some success on the offensive side. Inside 4.5 minutes to play here in the opening quarter. Ackerman hands off to the up man, barreling across the line of scrimmage, and I believe he did get enough for the first down. He did, so that'll be 1st and 10 from the Newport 26-yard line.
25, Joshua Sharon on the carry, tackled by 22, Wade Rainey.
And Andrew, we were talking, Coach Borsick at the beginning of the game, very young team, he mentions, has a lot of sophomores, which is a good, as he described it, a good nucleus, a good base to build off of. So although a disappointing loss last year in the playoffs to Monadnock, they should be able to have a decent season here and hopefully another couple seasons after that. Run off right tackle, number 7, Bryce Willie, sophomore. Gains a couple of yards, and that'll bring up 2nd and about 9.
The YCN scoreboard sponsor is La Valley Building Supply, home improvement and construction from concept to completion. And also by Bubba's Bar and Grill, overlooking the beautiful Newberry Harbor on Lake Sunapee.
2nd and 9, Ackerman in the shotgun, man to his right, bobbled snap. It looked like the running back ran into the snap, and it'll be recovered by the Raiders.
Recovered by the Raiders, number 88, Caleb Smith.
I'm not sure if it was a miscommunication or what, Andrew, but the Raiders jump on the loose football.
Yeah, big early turnover there. Caleb Smith covering the ball. Not sure exactly what happened, but...
Yeah, he was in the backfield before Ackerman really had a chance to get the football secured.
Yeah, and really it's felt like the ball has just been stuck on this side of the field the entire game.
Yeah, it'll be at the 20-yard line, so the Raiders will start with their 3rd drive at the Newport 20-yard line. Williman hands off, and the ball carrier is run into by a trio of Tiger defenders. That'll be Rainey, comes up with a yard or 2. See where they spot that one. See what the Tigers defense can do this time, giving up the touchdown on the short field in the first possession and then holding the Raiders to a turnover on downs the next time. And then once again, as you mentioned, ball's been on this side of the field a lot. Lebanon with another short field starting at the 20-yard line. 2nd and 8. Williman with the pitch. A sweep to the left. First penalty flag of the night will fly. That run was number 15, Ryan Sullivan. And we'll get our first penalty call. It will be a holding against the Raiders. Negate that play. We'll reset.
Hey, local sports fans, 94.5 ESPN's Brett Franklin Sports Talk Show can be seen on YCN's WYCX Outside Television at midnight every weekday.
Penalties on the Raiders, that's holding. It's a 10-yard penalty.
10-yard penalty marked off from the spot of the foul, which I believe was the 22.
2nd down and long.
So they will mark that ball back at the Newport 32. First down will be about the 10-yard line. So long way to go here. Shotgun for Williman. He'll keep it and look to throw.
Oh.
Ball is loose, but he drops down, falls on the football, and it stays Raider football. But another loss of yards. It'll be back to the 37-yard line, so a 5-yard loss.
Yeah, nice job by the Newport pass rushers there. Williman clearly feeling pressure. Tried to
Brings up third
roll
down
forward a
ball.
little bit, but
Ball's
was
at
met
the
by
Newport
resistance. Bobbled the ball,
37-yard line.
managed to hang on, but Tigers defense looking pretty strong right now.
Yeah, after that first drive, really that was the only time they gave up yardage. They started at the 26-yard line, and Lebanon looked like they were going to run all over the Tigers in that opening drive. But after that drive, really have had no success on the ground or throwing the ball. Going to have a flag from the back judge there, and that'll be a illegal formation or delay of game. A 5-yard penalty on the Raiders.
Put the ball on the Newport 42-yard line.
And at this point, Andrew, on this 3rd and long, all you're doing if you're the Raiders, just don't turn the ball over, get it to 4th down, and get the punt away.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously backed up a ton right now. It's got to be smart, no turnovers.
So Williman in the shotgun formation, running back to his left, 4 wide receivers, excuse me. Williman drops back, dumps it off to the running back, and he's got some daylight, shaking a couple defenders, dragging one tackler to the ground, and a nice little run by Wade Rainey after the catch. Not enough to get to the 1st down. Doesn't even really get back to the original line of scrimmage, but gets him to the 26.
Long gain on the play. It'll be 4th and long.
Like I said, they have to get to the 10-yard line, so
Just over the Newport 25-yard line.
still going to be a long 4th and 16. 16-yard pickup there. Williman under center. Dropping back. He's looking deep. He has a man on the out pattern, but it just is a little bit overthrown. Couldn't connect with his receiver. And that's going to fall incomplete. It'll be a turnover on downs. The Newport.
1st down, Newport.
Nice defensive stand. And Andrew, as we talked about, really, that first drive was all that's been, really all that Newport has done
Right.
to give up that one touchdown. And the rest of the drives, they've played pretty good defense.
Yeah, they have. Obviously, Lebanon, hurting themselves a little bit with that penalty, but Tigers holding strong, doing a nice job of forcing 2 turnovers on downs. Oh!
There's Ackerman with a handoff. The ball is bobbled, but Newport running back falls on it, and another fumble in the backfield.
Loss on the play.
Yeah, that was Jagger Lovely, number 28 there. Did manage to reach out and regain possession, thankfully, but yeah, we've seen the ball really being fumbled here multiple times early on in this game.
Yeah, the first play, it looked like it was a miscommunication and the combination of the Raider defender getting into the backfield so quickly. That one looked like it was just bobbled by Jagger Lovely, and he fumbled the ball. Luckily, he fell back on it, so they retained possession at the end of one quarter. The Raiders lead the Tigers 7-0. You're watching the YCN Game of the Week.
This YCN segment is brought to you by La Valley Building Supply and Middleton Building Supply.
YCN Game of the Week is brought to you by La Valley Building Supply, home improvement and construction from concept to completion. Mascoma Savings Bank, with no shareholders to please, they are committed to remaining independent and to reinvesting profits in the community. Bubba's Bar and Grill, offering fresh salads, hearty sandwiches, brick oven pizza, entrees, and award-winning seafood chowder. Echo Communications, a digitally integrated commercial printer and mailer located in New London, New Hampshire. MJ Harrington and Company, jewelers and designers since 1948. HR Clough and Kearsarge Heating, your local energy specialist. My TV, now available every weeknight from 8 to 10 on WYCI and WYCU. And by Mount Sunapee, a special New Hampshire ski and summer resort.
Welcome back, YCN Game of the Week. Jeremy Stout, Andrew Zerhine, as we begin the second quarter of action here. And the Newport Tigers trying to get some yardage on a little bit of a screen pass. A few yards, but not going to be enough to get a first down. That'll bring up 3rd down.
Tackled by Mason Adams. We have 3rd down and long. Ball's at the Newport
So
23
third and
yard
long. Newport with the ball at their own 23. They need to get to, looks like the 36-yard line for the first down. Ackerman under center, 2 running backs behind him. Man goes in motion. They'll keep it on the ground. Hand off to Lovely again. Spins away from one defender, but then he's immediately wrapped up by 2 more Raider tacklers. And that'll bring up fourth down and long from the Newport 29-yard line.
Tackled by number 11.
Our next YCN game of the week will feature Hanover hosting Hollis Brookline. Most games premiere on Saturday night at 7 p.m. on WYCU and WYCI, and at 5 p.m. on WYCX.
So fourth and long, punt team out here for the Tigers. Received at the 40-yard line and immediately hit by Ackerman, the quarterback for the Tigers.
Yeah, maybe
Blows up the Raider.
Right, maybe a fair catch would have been a good call there, but nice hit by Ackerman.
Smart play. He gave him enough distance to catch the ball.
Right.
Kept his head up, and that's obviously, as we get into football season, we're going to hear a lot about that, and it's good to see at the local level, the high school level, they're teaching them tackling, and that was a great tackle there. So Raiders will take over at their own 38-yard line. First and 10 from the 38. Williman under center. 2 running backs in the backfield. Man goes in motion to the right. Williman drops to the right side, has a man open, deep pass connected, and can Lovely catch him? I don't know what the call's going to be.
Wow.
I don't think the refs know what it is either. It looked like it was going to be a touchdown. Then the ball was fumbled. Did it go out of the back of the end zone?
Yeah.
Which would be a touchback in Newport football.
I think that's what happened. I think it was stripped right at the goal line. Wow.
So they are going to say fumbled out of the back of the end zone.
Yeah.
So Newport will get the ball. They'll start at their own 20.
It's the first down for Newport.
What a turn of events there as Bradley Plodzik had the touchdown.
Yeah.
Beautiful play. Great pass. Great catch, and he wasn't showboating or it wasn't anything wrong with the way he was running. Just had a little bit of the ball showing, and it was stripped away. Good job by the Newport defender. So Newport will take over at their own 20-yard line. Ackerman again in the shotgun. Penalty flag flies from the side judge. And there's going to be a false start on Newport, so that'll knock them back 5 yards, bring up first down and 15.
Now premiering every Saturday night at 6:30 p.m. is Vermont Rap with Keith Hansen. Compelling interviews and provocative commentary regarding today's hot-button political and social issues with movers, shakers, and policymakers in Vermont.
Tigers trying to get something going here after the 5-yard false start penalty. It'll be first and 15 from their own 15-yard line. Handoff to Lovely, who is tackled after crossing the line of scrimmage. Gains a couple yards, and that's really been their go-to move so far tonight, Andrew, is getting that ball to Lovely, really with some mixed results so far.
Yeah, Lebanon's defense has been pretty solid. Obviously, Newport held off the scoreboard,
Second down.
but Raiders D doing a nice job expecting the run there.
14 to go. Ball's on the 16-yard line.
We'll see if Joey Ackerman puts anything in the air. We've seen him run out of the shotgun. A lot of handoffs here. He drops back, and he does have a man down the sideline, but he overthrows the wide receiver. That was number 3, Austin Malou. Penalty flag on the play.
Penalties on the Raiders. Roughing the passer.
And it's going to be a roughing the passer penalty on the Lebanon Raiders. So that'll be automatic first down for the Tigers, and at this point in the game, when you really haven't gotten many first downs yourself, you'll take anything,
Right.
maybe jumpstart this offense.
Yeah, absolutely. The Tigers finally getting some positive yardage here. Hoping to score. That penalty definitely helps them out. Roughing the passer, that is not a good call to have against your team.
Yeah, and especially the way their defense had been playing, and
Right.
the receiver was not even
Yeah.
open at all. It
Yeah.
wasn't like it was something that was necessary. So the Tigers will get the first down at the 35-yard line, just across the 35.
35-yard line.
First and 10. Ackerman under center. Man goes in motion. Once again, it's a handoff to Lovely. He trips over his lineman who had fallen down, and then he's tackled,
28 tackled Lovely on the carry.
and that'll be a 2-yard loss.
Nice job by the
Play,
Raiders
about
there,
3
getting
yards,
around
tackled
the
by 36,
fullback, really the
Charles
leadoff
Stanley.
guy, the guy leading the way, creating the hole, and making contact with the actual ball carrier. As we can pretty much expect, there's going to be a running play, though we have seen recently a couple of throwing plays. One almost resulting in a touchdown.
Yes, and that was quite the play. Could come back to haunt the Raiders.
Oh,
Nice little pitch there on the
Need a block,
inside, but
yep.
yeah, he didn't get any blockers.
Number
That
7,
one was Bryce Willie.
on the carry.
But you're right, Andrew. Nobody there to block, and he doesn't really gain many yards. Back to the 34, 35-yard line.
yeah, it looked like his lead blocker
Ball is just past
maybe made the wrong
midcourt,
decision, blocked the
33-yard
wrong
line.
player, didn't block the guy that was immediately in the way of the ball carrier. But again, nice job by Lebanon.
So the Tigers have to get to the 46-yard line for a first down. Complete pass there out in the flats to Willie, and he's brought down just across the 40-yard line at the 41, so it's going to be about 5 yards short. It'll be an interesting decision here for first-year coach Borsick.
Yep.
Fourth down and about 5 yards to go, but I think at this point you probably go for it. Your defense has played well,
Right.
other than that first drive.
Yeah, I think definitely the Tigers' defense would give me confidence if I was their head coach right now. And it looks like they're going to punt this.
So inside 8 minutes, Newport back in punt formation, and they do get it away. 2 returners back for the Raiders, and it'll be picked up at the 30-yard line, where the Raider return man will gain about 5 yards back to the 35, and with 7:37 to go in the first half, Lebanon leads Newport 7-0. You're watching the YCN Game of the Week.
This YCN segment is brought to you by Lake Sunapee Visiting Nurse Association and Hospice.
Welcome back to the YCN Game of the Week. Jeremy Stout, Andrew Zerhide here in Lebanon, New Hampshire for opening night. Raiders opening in Division 3, new division for them, and the Newport Tigers opening with a new head coach, Coach Borsick, and immediately hit in the backfield is Williman. What a play by the Newport defender.
Tackle for a loss on the play by number 55.
Yeah, I believe that was Blake McKinney there. Nice job by him going on Williman's blind side, and Williman did not see that coming. He's really lucky he held onto the football,
McKinney.
didn't fumble.
So the Raiders need to get to the 35, or excuse me, the 45 for the first down. So they have their work cut out for them now with the ball just across the 25, just about a 9-yard loss on the sack. Some early motion.
Oh.
The pitch is dropped, picked back up, but
Fumble on
the
play,
ball
recovered
carrier is
by
not really
Ryan
getting
Sullivan.
anywhere. Ryan Sullivan.
Again, tackle on the play by Blake McKinney for another loss. Bring up third down and long. The ball being placed at the Raider.
Today's game is
17-yard
being
line.
brought to you in part by Echo Communications. Call them for all of your printing needs. Check for all of our air times by clicking on schedules at ycnnow.com.
So the Raiders moving backwards after the 9-yard loss on the sack. They lose more yards on the pitch that went awry, fumbled and recovered. But a long way to go here on third down. Pass by Williman, almost intercepted and then almost completed. The Newport defender had a nice
Pass attempted incomplete.
job to get in front of that
Fourth
one, but then it
down
went through
ball.
his hands.
Yeah, the pass was intended for Bradley Plodzik. I think Plodzik expected his defender to maybe catch the ball, but it went right through his hands. So then it went right through Plodzik's hands. Kind of an interesting play there. But we've seen Williman really starting to air it out here, but fourth down, looks like they'll punt.
Yeah, fourth down. He'll get the punt away. Get some field position, but the punt is low. And takes a good roll after the low punt and gets to the 42-yard line, so at least gets them a little bit. Could have been a lot worse as that punt
Raider punt was
looked
down.
pretty bad coming off the foot of the punter.
41-yard line will be first down Newport.
Well, we've got 5:48 to play here in the second quarter.
Support the Raider football program.
And this football game has been played on the ground, I think we could say. Obviously, the one big pass to Plodzik almost resulting in a touchdown, but for the most part, both teams have been content to keep the ball on the ground, run the ball, a couple trick plays every now and then. And as we say that, Ackerman with a nice throw. Gets it to an open receiver who pushes forward for a few more yards and gets the first down.
Yeah, that's Cole McNamara there, the tight end with that catch. Nice job by him. Plowing ahead, picking up a few extra yards. Tune in every Saturday at 9 p.m. for YCN Sports Wrap, taking a look at local high school sports in our area, followed by YCN Sports Talk, focusing on our region's college and professional sports with the Salt Hill Pub NFL Picks of the Week. Check for other air times by clicking on schedules at ycnnow.com.
So we'll bring up first down and 10 at the Lebanon 26-yard line. Ackerman is rushed by 4 Raider defenders, and then a 5th one jumps in there, really. Offensive line broke down on that one. Ackerman took a little bit too much time, and that brings up the sack and a nice defensive play for the Raiders.
Yeah, the Tigers' offensive line, clearly a bunch of holes there. Should be one of their strengths, so they're going to have to tighten some things up. They got to give their quarterback some time to get the ball out.
Right, they've been able to run the ball and gain a few yards here and there, but it seems like when Ackerman drops back, they've got to let him set his feet, at least get a look. 3 bunched receivers to his right, one goes in motion. And Ackerman's going to keep it himself. He's got a lead blocker, cuts to the outside, just gets away from a would-be tackler, Plodzik, and then he falls forward for a few more yards, gets back to the original line of scrimmage.
Bradley Plodzik.
We'll bring up third down.
Pretty good move there by Joey Ackerman.
Will bring up third down, about 10 yards to go.
Running play, basically a direct snap to him. Seemed to work pretty well there.
Yeah, it's not quite the run-pass option that they're running, but it is some sort of run-pass option wildcat because they're giving Ackerman, whether it's his decision or they're faking one way or the other, but he is definitely able to move in the pocket and take it out if he needs to. So, timeout on the field. Newport wants to talk it over. They've got a 3rd and long coming up with 3:42 to go in the second quarter. Lebanon 7, Newport 0. You're watching the YCN Game of the Week.
This YCN segment is brought to you by MJ Harrington and Company, jewelers and designers since 1948.
Welcome back. YCN Game of the Week. Jeremy Stout, Andrew Zerhide. Newport Tigers 3rd and long. Nice pass by Ackerman on the slant route. And the ball is completed.
Pass is complete.
I believe that was number 19 for the Tigers. First catch of the night for JT Blaine. And that will bring up a first down.
First down.
So first down and 10 from the 15-yard line. Newport inside the red zone for the first time tonight. Ackerman under center, 2 running backs behind him. The give to Lovely, kicks it out to the outside, but he's chased down by the defender, number 22, Wade Rainey, was able to catch up to him. So that'll bring up Second down inside 3 minutes.
Gain of about 5 on the play brings up 2nd and 5.
Ball
just past
is
the Raider
at
10-yard
the
line.
10-yard line. Newport can get the first down at the 5, and that'll give them 4 cracks to get to the end zone. Want to look for keep the ball on the ground here. Ackerman with the handoff, fights off one defender, and he's going to carry another one into the end zone. Touchdown, Tigers. Number 25, I believe that was Joshua Sharon.
25, Joshua Sharon on the score.
So a touchdown by the Tigers gets them to within 1, 7-6 our score with the extra point pending here. And on to kick the extra point also has been the punter for Newport, number 10. Marius Edwards, kick is up, and it's good. Tie game there. On the 10-yard touchdown run by Sharon. Nicely done there, Andrew, by the Tigers, moving the ball on that drive.
Yeah, that was a nifty little handoff there.
Marius Edwards.
Clearly caught some Raider defenders
2:30
off
to go in the
guard.
half. Your score Raiders 7.
They did a nice
Newport
job of
7.
selling that handoff. It's kind of, they seemed to fake it, but that's actually where the ball went on the right side. The entire team went left, and that threw off the Raider defense. So nice job of Newport tying the game.
And the question was just, are they going to be able to carry the defender into the end zone? And he did, getting the touchdown with 2:30 to play here in the second quarter, tying the game 7-7. So we'll see if that's enough time for the Raiders to come back and get a score before the halftime. Newport set to kick off. 2:30 to play, opening night here, Friday night. Tigers, Raiders. 2 returners deep for Lebanon. Kick is away. Fielded at the 20-yard line. Nice little return there for the Raiders, but
36,
good job by the Tigers. The tackle before was a breakaway, and it'll be first down for the Raiders at the
Kurt Gagne.
38-yard line.
YCN is affiliated with the Heroes and Icons Network on WYCI and WYCU. Watch our new programs every weekday from noon to 8, and MyTV at 8 and 9 p.m. and Outside Television on WYCX, America's active adventure lifestyle leader.
So with 2:23 to play before halftime and a tie game, Lebanon scoring early with a touchdown run of 1 yard, and then Tigers taking a while to answer, but they finally do, and they tie it up 7-7. Dropping back to pass is Williman, and he just throws it into the ground, and it was no receiver, in the area, so that's going to be intentional grounding.
Yeah, it seemed like Williman had a good amount of time in the pocket, couldn't find anyone. Kind of seemed like a secondary pressure right there. Could have been a secondary sack. But, yeah, Williman, good job getting the ball out, but you got to throw it near a receiver. Getting flagged on that one. Easy call for the ref.
Yeah, he had a couple guys that were closer to the line of scrimmage, but just didn't quite get it. He didn't quite make an effort. He just threw it down to the ground. I mean, that is the exact letter of the law there, intentional grounding. As we saw, that penalty was called, as you mentioned, pretty easy to call for the refs. Lebanon wants to talk it over. 2:17 to go. We've got a tie game, 7-7. YCN Game of the Week.
This YCN segment is brought to you by Mount Sunapee Resort. Fun for all seasons.
Welcome back to the YCN Game of the Week. Jeremy Stout, Andrew Zerhide. 2:17 to play before halftime here in Lebanon, New Hampshire, where the Raiders and the Tigers are locked, all tied up at 7 apiece. Raider football, second and long after the intentional grounding. Coach Childs probably just wants to talk about What are they going to do on the next two plays to maybe get some positive yardage? And a direct snap there off the right side. The running back gets all the way over midfield to the 45-yard line. Number 22, Wade Rainey. And that was a play that Childs drew up, and that was a nice play there.
Yeah, absolutely. Nice job by Wade Rainey, really running hard up that right sideline. He was going to run through any defender. Did run into about 3 guys, but nice job by Wade Rainey. Also a basketball star for these Lebanon Raiders.
So that'll be first down, a good chunk of yardage. Puts it at the Newport 44 as we have 2:08 to play. Raiders trying to score here before the halftime whistle. Snap to Williman in the shotgun, and he gets the ball out to the big tight end, number 88. Caleb Smith, the junior tight end.
25, Joshua Sharon, tackle.
And that'll bring up second down and about 7.
Today's game is being brought to you in part by Mascoma Savings Bank, mutually owned with no shareholders to please. If you want your local game, event, parade, or concert televised into YCN's nearly 300,000 TV households, now on DirecTV and Dish, contact us at info@ycnnow.com for more information.
Inside 90 seconds, clock moving. Williman in the shotgun. He's got a running back to his right, 3 receivers to his left. He'll get chased out of the pocket, rolling left, right in front of the Newport bench. And he's tackled out of bounds, so it stops the clock, but it'll be third down. It really doesn't gain many yards, so that'll still be 3rd and 7.
2 on the play.
Maybe 3rd and 6, depending on where they spot it. So they do spot the ball
Brings up 3rd and 4. Ball's
at the 33-yard line. Excuse me, 38-yard line. So Lebanon, 3rd and 4. 1:12 to play here in the second quarter. Williman corrals the high snap, and he is immediately met in the backfield by a couple defenders, and that's going to go down easily. 4th down at the Newport 45-yard line, inside 1 minute, so it'll be interesting to see what happens here. Lebanon probably run that clock down as far as they can, call a timeout, and then maybe punt it away.
Brings up 4th down, just over 10 yards to go.
Yeah, that really was a big sack there by the Tigers. Yeah, coming in 30 seconds left here. Lebanon clearly taking their time. Nope.
And there it is, the timeout by Coach Childs.
Timeout Raiders.
Keep it right here as we approach halftime. Good first half with the Raiders starting with the ball, and after a nice kickoff return, getting it to the Newport 26, they go down the field 26 yards, and they score on the 1-yard touchdown run. Go up 7-0 with 8:36 to play in the first quarter, and then in the second quarter, the Tigers getting a nice 10-yard touchdown run to tie the score at 7 apiece. So other than that, the only other big play was the long pass completion by the Raiders that was completed to, I believe that was Plodzik had the completion there from Williman, and then it was fumbled out of the back of the end zone. So Newport was fortunate enough to get the ball back there, and that's all we have so far. So with 30 seconds to play before half, 4th and 10. Lebanon's going to run a play here. They are not going to punt it. Williman dropping back, throwing it up to the receiver who's being held on the sidelines, but the flag does come in late from deep.
I think the fact that the ball was maybe a little underthrown maybe threw off the Newport defender. He had to come back. Probably made some accidental contact with the Lebanon receiver. I think I agree with the call. I think there was some contact before the ball got there.
Penalties on Newport. Pass interference.
It will be a pass interference penalty and an automatic first down. Spot foul. Yeah, the referee who was running along the sidelines didn't call it. It was the referee who was deep, but he probably had a better angle at it because, like you said, that ball was up in the air for so long.
Yep.
And the defender kind of getting turned around, running back to the football.
Yeah, and if Lebanon can put some points on the board, that is a big mistake by the Tigers because that was 4th down.
Right, I was surprised that they were even throwing the ball. I guess they figured, well, Newport probably would just run the clock out anyway if they got the ball back, and you don't want to punt in and have a chance for a special teams miscue.
Right.
So the ball is spotted now at the 31-yard line. Lebanon Raiders with an automatic first down, so it'll be 1st and 10 from the 31. 21 seconds to go, man in motion. A little bit of a false start. I don't know if they caught it, and the throw is away from Williman, and it's overthrown.
It was picked off.
Yeah, it was almost intercepted by the Newport defender.
Bring up 2nd down.
Yeah, Bryce Willie there almost made the play. It kind of seemed like the pass was intended for him almost. But
Yeah, he was the only guy in the picture. Williman just trying to get rid of it. He was getting chased, and he didn't want to get the intentional grounding, so he threw it deep this time. And they did. I think they did miss a false start on that play.
Yeah.
It looked like Lebanon lineman and maybe a receiver had moved a little early.
Yeah, it seemed like almost everybody on the field except the refs saw it, but let him play on.
2nd and 10, 16 seconds to go here. Another high snap, but Williman corrals it. Almost gets away from one defender, but he can't from the other one.
Yeah, that's Blake McKinney there with the sack. That's a big hit there by McKinney. Nice play by him. And the Lebanon offensive line having a hard time defending their quarterback.
Lebanon elects to take a timeout.
McKinney on the tackle.
Well, I guess what they say, you can't take them with you, so Coach Childs is going to use them all.
Yep, have time to run one more play. 5 seconds left. Take a shot at the end zone.
And, I mean, we've seen Williman, he's got a good arm.
Right.
He threw that deep ball to Plodzik. He threw that last ball, obviously it was over the defender's head. But he's got an arm, so if he just gets some time, anything can happen.
Yeah, he needs some more protection. His offensive line not exactly guarding him to the best of their abilities, it seems. And Williman definitely feeling rushed, trying to get the ball out. Stay tuned at the end of our telecast for the H.R. Clough Kearsarge Heating Turning Up the Heat Player of the Game. We'll choose the team member that had the greatest impact on tonight's contest.
All right, here we go. 5 seconds to play in this half. Most likely will be the final play, barring a score or a defensive penalty. Williman under center, 2 running backs behind him. He'll drop back. Here's the protection he wants. Throws it deep to his man, who's completed on the sidelines, and it is a touchdown.
Wow.
The receiver did not go out of bounds. The deep completion and the touchdown to number 12, Jackson Stone, the freshman.
Wow. I mean, what a big play. It really seemed like if he did catch the ball, which he did, it seemed like he would just get tackled and go out of bounds, but he managed to stay in bounds, picking up a huge touchdown in this game. Lebanon is going to go up by at least 6 here going into halftime. What a gutsy play call right there. That timeout really looks good by Chris Childs.
So the extra point coming here to double up the Tigers, and that one is good. So it'll be 14-7.
Wade Rainey's point after attempt is good.
As we go into the locker room, the Tigers, a little bit of a defensive lapse there at the end of the first half. Lebanon leading 14-7 at halftime. We'll take a break. You're watching the YCN Game of the Week.
This YCN segment is brought to you by New London Hospital, an affiliate of Dartmouth Hitchcock.
YCN Game of the Week is brought to you by La Valley Building Supply, home improvement and construction from concept to completion. Mascoma Savings Bank, with no shareholders to please, they are committed to remaining independent and to reinvesting profits in the community. Bubba's Bar and Grill, offering fresh salads, hearty sandwiches, brick oven pizza, entrees, and award-winning seafood chowder. Echo Communications, a digitally integrated commercial printer and mailer located in New London, New Hampshire. MJ Harrington and Company, jewelers and designers since 1948. HR Clough and Kearsarge Heating, your local energy specialist. My TV, now available every weeknight from 8 to 10 on WYCI and WYCU. And by Mount Sunapee, a special New Hampshire ski and summer resort.
Welcome back. YCN Game of the Week. Jeremy Stout, Andrew Zerhide. Second half action here in Lebanon, where the Raiders lead the Tigers 14-7. Raiders kicking off to start the second half. Kick is picked up at the 30-yard line. Nice little return there for the Newport return man, number 18 on the carry. After an interesting first half, it was low scoring, Andrew, as we saw, obviously 14-7, but that last touchdown scored with no time left on the clock after Coach Childs calls the timeout.
Yep.
And throws up the Hail Mary pass, and it's complete in the touchdown. So we'll see who made the adjustments in the locker room and who's going to come out on fire in the second half.
Yeah, the Tigers definitely need to be aware that Lebanon, they can throw the ball. Williman has a pretty good arm. Secondary needs to be ready.
Ackerman in the shotgun. He takes the low snap, picks it up, has a man
Nice
open,
throw.
and he just puts it right in the hands of the receiver, but broken up nicely by the defender.
Second down.
Maybe underthrew it a little bit, so the receiver had to stop and come back, but still a nice throw. Nice throw there, but it comes up incomplete, and that'll bring up second down and 10.
Yeah, maybe just a little bit more on that throw, but the accuracy was pretty much spot on. Did give the Lebanon defender a chance to make a play on that ball, but nice toss.
So it'll bring up second and 10. Ackerman in the shotgun, running back to his right, and Ackerman's going to keep it. Goes off the right side, not going to gain anything, maybe loses a yard. We'll see where they spot the ball. They're going to put it at the 40-yard line, so that will bring up third down and 11. Loses a yard. Substitute coming in for the Tigers. So third and 11. And I think we've got all the glitches ironed out. We apologize for the technical difficulties in the first half, some of the audio. So our first game as well, ironing out all the kinks, but hopefully we have it set. Third down 11, pitch to the left side. Nice cutback up the middle, and he's still going, is the ball carrier. And it looks like number 25 for the Tigers. He'll have enough for the first down. Joshua Sharon.
Tackled by 12, Jack Stone.
Stone with the tackle, and that will be enough for the first down. So nice conversion there on third down for the Tigers.
In addition to airing on our 3 TV stations, all YCN games are posted for your viewing pleasure anytime at ycnnow.com.
Off the right side, tripped up, but a flag before the play was ended, so that'll most likely be on the offense. Holding call. Ball right now is spotted at the Raider 43-yard line. I believe they're going to call the penalty on the Tigers. Just checking with the Raiders if they want to accept the penalty. It's an illegal shift. It is going to be on the Tigers, and the penalty will be accepted, so they'll replay the down after they mark the yardage off.
The YCN scoreboard sponsor is La Valley Building Supply, home improvement and construction from concept to completion. and also by Bubba's Bar and Grill, overlooking the beautiful Newberry Harbor on Lake Sunapee.
It's a 5-yard penalty.
So the penalty will be
Replay the down.
marched off to the
First down,
Newport
15.
49. So
Ball will be just shy of midfield.
they have to get to the 36-yard line of the Raiders. So first down and 15. Man in motion. Ackerman takes the shotgun snap, immediately hands off to Lovely, who tries cutting it to the outside, but he's wrapped up by the lone defender, and it's a loss of a yard.
28. Jagger Lovely on the carry. Tackled by 36. Charles Jack Chanley.
Second down
Loss
and
of a yard brings up second down and
16.
long.
Ball just across the 48-yard line. Clock moving here, 9:40 to play in the third quarter. Tigers with the football, they have yet to lead. They were trailing early 7-0 before tying it up at 7, and then the Raiders scoring that touchdown before the end of the first half. Ackerman with the deep ball, and it is tipped away and almost intercepted by the defender.
Broken up by 15, Ryan Sullivan.
Yeah, Ryan
Third
Sullivan
down.
there. Almost picked that ball off. Looks like he read it in the air and had a good chance to make a play, but just couldn't haul it in. And we remember Ryan Sullivan started off this game with a huge kickoff return that set up a quick early touchdown for the Raiders, really set the tone of this game. So Sullivan having a nice night here.
So that stops the clock, 9:24 to play. Brings up a long 3rd and 16 now for the Tigers. They really need to move the chains here, or at least get half of it back. Ackerman drops back to throw, and it almost completed, but it was in and out
Pass
of the
attempted
hands of
complete.
Bryce
Fourth
Willie,
down.
the sophomore wide receiver. That'll bring up 4th down.
Now premiering every Saturday night at 6:30 p.m. is Vermont Rap with Keith Hansen. Compelling interviews and provocative commentary regarding today's hot-button political and social issues with movers, shakers, and policymakers in Vermont.
4th and 16. Newport Tigers will punt the ball. Punt is returned from the 25-yard line. And once again, the return man has some room. Cuts back to the middle of the field, and he's going to go all the way. Touchdown, Lebanon.
Touchdown Raiders.
And I believe that's
Number 12, Jack
freshman
Stone on the return.
Jackson Stone there. Really, the Lebanon Raiders special teams have been huge tonight. I know that's technically their first touchdown, but really their opening kickoff return set up that touchdown, as we were just saying, by Ryan Sullivan. But really, the Raiders special teams, we've seen them roll out to the left or right sideline with space. Finally, they score a touchdown here. That's a big one.
75 yards on the punt return for the touchdown. Freshman Jackson Stone. And they could double that lead to 14 if the extra point is converted here. That one's a little low, but it goes through. So
Point after attempt is good.
the Raiders take the 14-point lead, 21-7. 9:01 to play here in the third quarter. We'll take a break. You're watching the YCN Game of the Week.
This YCN segment is brought to you by Bubba's Bar and Grill on Lake Sunapee in Newberry Harbor.
Welcome back to the YCN Game of the Week. Jeremy Stout, Andrew Zerhide. 9:01 to play in this third quarter. Lebanon Raiders taking the punt return all the way to the end zone, 75 yards, going up 21-7. Now the Tigers will try and answer on this kickoff return, and the ball carrier is tackled after a decent gain, gets it back to about the 26-yard line. That was number 7, Bryce Willie, on the return. And Newport will set up shop at the 25-yard line. First and 10, 8:55 to play.
First down, Newport.
Today's telecast is being brought to you in part by MJ Harrington, jewelers and designers in Newport, New Hampshire. And you can watch any of our local shows anytime at ycnnow.com.
So the Tigers looking to get a score here and get them back in this game. Handoff up the middle. Ball carrier Gets a couple yards. Not going to get much, but keep moving forward. 1 yard,
25,
second and 9. Joshua Sharon with the carry.
In on the tackle, 78.
As we approach
Joshua
8:30 to
Bontrager.
play here in the third quarter. Newport's got to try and solve this Raider defense. Ackerman once again in the shotgun. Man in motion. The pitch goes to the motion man. Off to the right side. That was number 7, Bryce Willie. But a flag on the play on the far side. Right in the area of the ball carrier, so you would imagine it's a holding penalty. Refs conferring, and we'll get the call here. And the penalty will go against the Tigers.
Penalties on Newport. Holding.
Newport getting some positive yards, but then bringing it back after the 5-yard penalty. A little confusion, it looks like, by the referees. Not sure where to pace it off from, but they may have it now. The Tigers had already broken huddle. They were ready to go back to the line of scrimmage and call their next play. Ref puts the ball down at the 18-yard line. And second and long. Fumbled snap. Ackerman rushing out to his right. Throws it a little high. It's tipped and then intercepted.
Pass is intercepted.
Wade Rainey gets the interception
22, Wade
off
Rainey.
the tip, and Andrew, that ball
Be first down Raiders.
a little hot. The receiver couldn't
Yeah.
handle it. It was tipped right up in the air, and that's easy pickings for the defender.
15-yard
Yeah,
line.
really. Wade Rainey doing a nice job of just pulling it out of the air. Easy pick for him. Looked like Newport quarterback. He fumbled at first, but recovered. And was flushed out of the pocket, feeling the pressure. Newport's offensive line starting to have some holes here. Lebanon's defense is getting to the quarterback.
Williman under center, 2 running backs behind him. He'll give to the second man. Trying to sweep it out to the corner. Running back does almost get to the corner and turn it, but
Sullivan on the carry.
Sullivan doesn't quite get around the edge, and it'll be second down after
34,
maybe
Chase
a
Hamilton
yard or
on
2
the
gain.
tackle.
Hey, local sports fans, 94.5 ESPN's Brett Franklin Sports Talk Show can be seen on YCN's WYCX Outside Television at midnight every weekday.
So they'll bring up second and 8. We're inside 8 minutes here in this third quarter. Lebanon trying to go up 28-7. They're up 21-7 now after the punt and return touchdown. And here's running back number 36, cutting it to the outside.
36, Charles Chamley on the carry.
Charles Chanley with the carry. That'll be a first down
About 8
for
on
the
play. They'll bring
Raiders.
up first and goal.
So first and goal inside the
Ball's at
5-yard line.
4-yard line.
Newport trying to get a stand here on the defensive side of the football. They have struggled on this drive here as the Raiders have been making up yardage. Although they started with a pretty short field, and the handoff inside. Touchdown run
Raiders.
is there. Number
22,
22,
Wade Rainey
Wade
on the
Rainey
carry.
with the 4-yard touchdown run.
Yeah, well, that touchdown obviously created on the turnover, the interception by Wade Rainey, and he finishes off the drive with his own touchdown. Nice job by him. Lebanon now up by 3 touchdowns. Newport starting to fall behind.
Yeah, Wade Rainey with the interception, gets the touchdown, and now he'll try and add to it with the extra point. Newport trying to time the snap. They don't get it. Rainey puts the extra point
Wade
through. It's
Rainey's point after
28-7.
that's good.
Lebanon with the lead.
With 7:23
7:23 to play
Third quarter.
in the
Score
third
Raiders
quarter. We'll take a
28.
break. You're watching the YCN
Newport
Game of the
7.
Week.
This YCN segment is brought to you by Echo Communications, a digitally integrated commercial printer.
Welcome back to the YCN Game of the Week. Jeremy Stout, Andrew Zerhide. Third quarter of action here from Lebanon. 7:23 to play in the third quarter. The Raiders extending their lead 28-7 over the Newport Tigers. Kick returner cuts it back to the near side, and he is tackled before he can get to the 35. And a flag on the play.
19, J.T. Blaine on the carry. Tackled by 32.
Looks like a little bit of away from the ball, aggressive play, and not sure who the call was on. So they're going to call a late hit personal foul on the Raiders, so that'll add a 15-yard penalty on top of the return, and Newport will start with the ball almost at midfield. So maybe, Andrew, this is what Newport needs, some good field position, maybe get some momentum on their side.
Yeah, they definitely got to take advantage of this penalty. Got to put some points up here. Still a lot of time left, but falling behind now by 21 points. Haven't scored yet in the half.
Right, I mean,
Gotta
obviously,
be aggressive
yeah,
here.
Lebanon scoring 2 quick touchdowns in the first basically 8 minutes of this
First
quarter.
down, Newport.
But you're right, a lot of
49
time
yard line.
left. I mean, they put a score here. It's 28-14, make a stop, and they're right back in this game.
Yeah.
So, got to play hard here. First and 10 from the Newport 49. Ackerman will keep it, goes to the left. He'll scamper out of bounds, but not before he gains 4 yards on the play,
Number
maybe
one, Joey
5.
Ackerman on the carry.
They're going to give him
Tackled
5
out of bounds
yards,
by
spotted
12.
at the 46-yard line
Stone.
of the Raiders.
Our next
Game of
YCN
five
Game of the
play,
Week will
second down
feature
and 5
Hanover
off the
hosting
Raider
Hollis
46-yard
Brookline.
line.
Most games premiere on Saturday night at 7 p.m. on WYCU and WYCI, and at 5 p.m. on WYCX.
Ackerman under center. Man in motion here, and Ackerman with another handoff. This one to Lovely. He's been the ball carrier tonight for most of the carries. This one will be first down across the 40-yard line
28,
of the
Jack
Raiders.
Lovely on the carry.
And we've got an injury on the field. Refs are calling for a timeout. Trainer's going to come on the field as well as Coach Child. So with 7:04 to go, we'll take an injury timeout. You're watching the YCN Game of the Week.
This YCN segment is brought to you by Harris Family Furniture in Plymouth, Laconia, and Chichester.
Welcome back to the YCN Game of the Week. Jeremy Stout, Andrew Zerhide, 7 minutes to play in this third quarter. Tigers trailing the Raiders 28-7. Ball inside the Raider 40-yard line. Newport looking to get something going on this drive. Ackerman takes a shotgun snap. A lot of time this play. But he just overthrows the wide receiver. A little shove in the back, but the ball was not catchable, so they're not going to call that one.
Yeah, there definitely was some contact there, but I think you're right. Uncatchable ball, incomplete pass. Good call.
Thanks to all our Facebook Live viewers. If you're watching this on YCN television, don't forget every game we do the Facebook Live. So if you're not able to be at the game but want to catch it live, don't forget to follow YCN and catch us every week.
Right, and next week we'll be right by, just over at Hanover, as the Hollis Brookline Cavaliers take on the Marauders.
Man in motion for the Tigers. 6:42 to play. Ackerman hands it off, and it looks like Lovely will be wrapped up by 4 defenders. Maybe a missed assignment there on the offensive line, and Lovely gets a couple of yards. They might give him 2 yards to the 47-yard line. And that'll bring up third down. Obviously, Coach Borsick will be going for 4 downs here if he needs them, so you've got 2 plays to pick up your 9 yards. Ackerman dropping back. Finds a man over the middle. Nice completion, but kind of goes backwards after catching it. Not really going to gain anything.
Wayne Rainey on the tackle.
Maybe loses a yard, goes back to the original line of scrimmage. It'll be 4th down and 10.
Loss of
And
play
some
brings a 4th down and long.
substitutions coming in for Newport. You wonder if this will be a punt, as at this point you don't really want to give Lebanon too
Right.
much field position. Even though you're down 3 touchdowns, you still got over 5 minutes to play in this third quarter.
Yeah, I think this is probably a good call. You got to start to be aggressive and take some risks, down by 3 touchdowns, but 4th and 10, it's going to be
Timeout,
tough.
Newport.
Midfield, like you said, time left. So I think punting is definitely the right move.
Coach Borsick wants to talk it over. We'll go through the game recap here while we have a little bit of time. The Lebanon Raiders take the early lead with a 1-yard touchdown run, going up 7-0 in the first quarter, and then it stayed that way for quite a while until 2.5 minutes to go in the half when Newport tied the score on a 10-yard touchdown run, tying the score at 7, and then on the final play of the first half, the Raiders get a 45-yard touchdown pass as time expires to go up 14-7. Opening the scoring in the second half was a 75-yard punt return touchdown by the Raiders to go up 21-7, and they added to their lead with a 4-yard touchdown run at 7:23 to go up 28-7. So it's been 3 unanswered touchdowns for the Raiders, and they're set to possibly get the ball back here pending this play, and we'll see if the Tigers have any trickery up their sleeve. It looks like they will run out of the shotgun.
Yeah.
Ackerman's going to call the play.
Oh,
He's going to have a little bit of hesitation
Yep.
and not get there.
yeah, nice job by Lebanon's defense adjusting there. You
59
realized they weren't
Mason
getting
Adams
punted
tackle.
to, so they had to make the adjustment.
Ball will be turned over
But
on down.
clearly they did.
The 1st down Raiders.
Their defensive line has put pressure on
Ball
the
will be
Newport
placed at their own
quarterback all night
39-yard
long.
line.
Yeah, and if you're the quarterback for the Tigers, you know, it's a tough call with that option
Right.
maybe that he's running, but once you see that opening, you got to commit because the defenders are going to get on you in a hurry, and I think he just hesitated just for a split second. So turnover on downs. Raiders take over at their own 39-yard line. Inside 4.5 minutes to play now. Short Lebanon will keep the ball on the ground, keep the clock moving, up 21. And immediately they hand it right off to Rainey, and he's going to break free. And he is chased down but not pushed out of bounds, and he's going to go all the way for the touchdown for the
Touchdown,
Raiders. Number 22, Wade
Rainey on the
Rainey.
Nice job by Wade Rainey. Really a good power back there. Fought through some contact. Do have a player down on the field. Looks like cramps though. But I do think an injury timeout will be called.
And Wade Rainey, the big 60-yard touchdown run. So he's contributed nicely both on special teams
Right.
and on offense. On defense, he had the interception that set up a short field. So that touchdown gives them the 34-7 lead. Extra point pending after this injury timeout. You're watching the YCN Game of the Week.
This YCN segment is brought to you by Harris Family Furniture in Plymouth, Laconia, and Chichester.
Welcome back, YCN Game of the Week. Jeremy Stout, Andrew Zerhide. Extra point pending here. The kick is off the upright and no good.
Point after attempt is no good with 4:13 to go in the third
So
quarter.
the
You score
injury
Raiders 34.
Timeout
Tigers
after
7.
the injury timeout. The Raiders miss the extra point, and it will remain 34-7. 4:13 to play. 4 unanswered touchdowns now. What was a tie game with 2:30 to play in the half. We've only played 13 minutes or so since that point, and it's been all Raiders. And Andrew, this
Right.
team has really turned it on. And I wonder if this is a sign of things to come. Obviously, we saw them drop down to this division. Is it something that they'll be able to dominate, or is it more of a young Newport team? And obviously, that remains to be seen. We're not going to decide that tonight, but could be interesting to follow these teams throughout the season.
Yeah, definitely. One thing that was a little disappointing about Lebanon moving down was there's going to be no more Lebanon-Hanover matchups. That was always an exciting game, but Hanover, I believe, does have a couple hundred more students than Lebanon, so it makes sense for the Raiders. But yeah, it's definitely too soon to say how these seasons are going to go for both these teams. But really, in this second half, I feel like Lebanon's offensive line has done a nice job creating space for their running backs.
Yeah, it's been all Lebanon in this second half. The kickoff a little short. Feel it at the 22-yard line. But once again, good coverage by this Raider team. And they're really getting, obviously, to the quarterback on defense. They're covering everything on special teams. Newport really doesn't ever get any room to run on any of these returns.
Right.
And Lebanon on their special teams, they're returning. We've obviously seen the long punt return for the touchdown, the long kickoff return to start the game that set up the touchdown. So really, right now, Lebanon is winning the battle of the special teams, no question, and offensively as well. So 4:05 to go, though. Once again, Newport get a score on the board, turn something around. You got an entire fourth quarter plus 4 minutes to play. So Ackerman in the shotgun, couple running backs behind him, 2 receivers to his left, 1 to his right. Picks up the low snap, hands it to Lovely, trying to shift outside. It's a handful of yards, but once again, just can't quite go to that second level.
Right.
He's always getting wrapped up at the line of scrimmage or only a couple yards beyond.
Today's game is being brought to you in part by Echo Communications. Call them for all of your printing needs. Check for all of our airtimes by clicking on schedules at ycnnow.com.
So 2nd and 8. Ackerman with the inside handoff. Falling forward for a few yards is Lovely again. And that'll bring up 3rd down.
Maybe 1 on the play by Jagger Lovely.
Ackerman looking at the sidelines, calling the plays. He'll bring the play into the huddle and
33-yard line.
See if they can convert here on 3rd down, because if you're the Tigers, even though you're down, there's no way you can go for it on 4th down this deep in your own territory. So they'll need that one here. 3rd and 7. Inside 3 minutes to play. Ackerman keeps it himself.
Oh.
He's going to run back. He has a man, throws it deep, but just overthrown.
Pass attempt is incomplete.
Ball was intended for number 32 on the Tigers.
4th down.
Cole McNamara, the senior tight end, and that'll bring up 4th down.
Tune in every Saturday at 9 p.m. for YCN Sports Wrap, taking a look at local high school sports in our area, followed by YCN Sports Talk, focusing on our region's college and professional sports with the Salt Hill Pub Picks of the Week.
So Newport will indeed punt it away here on 4th down. Picked up at the 40-yard line. And a nice tackle there. Wrapped up
12, Jack Stone
after gaining at a 15-yard, 17-yard return. So Newport
81, Devin Hano.
turning it over
on
on the punt, or giving the ball back on the punt, excuse me. 2:32 to play here.
First down
And
for the Raiders. Ball's at the Newport
got
43
to imagine, once again, Andrew, they'll keep it on the ground, but that really hasn't slowed down this offense.
Right.
Even when they have kept it on the ground, they pick up 1st down or a touchdown, and it doesn't seem like it's that hard right now.
Yeah, Lebanon's getting good protection for their skill players right now. See what Williman can do here.
Yeah, in the shotgun, but he pitches it off.
Oh,
And a nice
break.
cut back and all the way to the end of the corner,
Wow.
and he gets to the end zone. Wasn't sure he was going to get all the way, but he
Touchdown
got
Raiders,
around the
number
corner.
15, Ryan Sullivan.
And a 48-yard touchdown run by Ryan Sullivan.
Yeah, nice job by Sullivan. Really, once he made that cut and broke that one tackle, he was gone. These Lebanon running backs have some good speed and elusiveness. Able to break tackles, sprint down the field. Really nice job by Lebanon here in this second half. They're dominating right now.
And their 4th touchdown of the second half. Extra point attempt here. Flag on the play. The extra point's blocked. You wonder if
Flag
that
on
was
the
because
play.
they jumped a little bit and got the offsides. but it's going to be called against Lebanon. So that'll be a decline penalty, and the extra point is no good. 2:20 to play. It's 40-7 here in Lebanon. We'll take a break. You're watching the YCN Game of the Week.
This YCN segment is brought to you by Harris Family Furniture in Plymouth, Laconia, and Chichester.
Welcome back to the YCN Game of the Week. Jeremy Stout, Andrew Zerhide. 2:20 to play here in the third quarter. Lebanon Raiders lead the Newport Tigers 40-7. And the kickoff return from the 20-yard line up to about the 30-yard line for the Tigers, where they will start with the ball. It's been all Raiders here, Andrew, in the second half, as we were talking about that in the break. 4 straight touchdowns, 2 missed extra points on these last 2 touchdowns, but really built this lead up now, 33 points. And Newport's running out of time and possessions.
Yeah, and besides those 2 missed extra points, Lebanon's special teams have really been strong tonight, directly leading to 1 touchdown, but to start off the game, brought them right down the field. They were able to easily score. So special teams, you can't overlook them. They've been a big factor here tonight.
Well, Newport will give it a try here from the 30-yard line. Ackerman with the pitch. 1 man out there, that's Lovely. He gets tackled after a 1 or 2 yard gain.
28 Jagger Lovely on a carry.
32-yard line is where they'll spot it. In just approaching 2 minutes.
58 Nate Bolio on the tackle.
YCN is affiliated with the Heroes and Icons Network on WYCI and WICU. Watch all of our programs every weekday from noon to 8, and MyTV at 8 and 9 p.m. And Outside Television on WYCX, America's active adventure lifestyle leader.
2nd down and 8. Ackerman fires it, but it is dropped, incomplete. And once again, a drop for the Tigers.
Yeah, it's Bryce Wiley there, the sophomore receiver. That's at least the 2nd time in this game he's been hit in the hands and hasn't been able to hold on. But just a sophomore. Again, this Newport team pretty young, ton of sophomores, so first game of the season, they're still working through some things.
We'll bring up 3rd down and 8. 1:33 to play here in this third quarter. Newport trying to stop the bleeding here and maybe put something on the board. And that's not going to happen that way, as it's a sack deep in the
tackle for loss on the
backfield.
Play. 88 Caleb Smith, 58 Nate Bolio.
Couple of Lebanon defenders tackling Ackerman, and that's just going to push him even further back. Now there's no chance they'd go for it on 4th down, as it's 4th and very long, so they'll get the punt team out, punt it away. Seems like that has been a theme in this second half for the Tigers.
Yeah, Newport's offensive line, which is supposed to be pretty solid, not too strong here, at least in the second half. Lebanon's linebackers and defensive line have been able to get to Newport's quarterback pretty easily.
Punt is away, takes a Newport bounce, and it'll be touchdown at the 38-yard line. Where Newport will take over, Lebanon will take over 40-7, 45 seconds to play in the quarter. We'll take a break. You're watching the YCN Game of the Week.
This YCN segment is brought to you by H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating, your local energy specialist.
Welcome back, YCN Game of the Week. Jeremy Stout, Andrew Zerhide. Tigers trail the Raiders 40-7. Raiders with the football and the inside handoff, and nobody can take down the ball carrier.
36 Charles Stanley on the carry.
Third quarter may come to a close here after that play. Not sure if the Raiders will continue running the football. Big first down run there, and Raiders have really had their way when they have the football. We'll bring up 1st and 10. Looks like Lebanon will run a play from the Newport 44-yard line. Williman with the handoff. And once again, cutting it to the outside, number 22, Wade Rainey. Few yards on the gain, and that'll do it for the third quarter of play. So a big third quarter from the Raiders. They score 4 touchdowns and they lead at 40-7. You're watching the YCN Game of the Week.
This YCN segment is brought to you by La Valley Building Supply and Middleton Building Supply.
YCN Game of the Week is brought to you by La Valley Building Supply, home improvement and construction from concept to completion. Mascoma Savings Bank, with no shareholders to please, they are committed to remaining independent and to reinvesting profits in the community. Bubba's Bar and Grill, offering fresh salads, hearty sandwiches, brick oven pizza, entrees, and award-winning seafood chowder. Echo Communications, a digitally integrated commercial printer and mailer located in New London, New Hampshire. MJ Harrington and Company, jewelers and designers since 1948. HR Clough and Kearsarge Heating, your local energy specialist. My TV, now available every weeknight from 8 to 10 on WYCI and WYCU. And by Mount Sunapee, a special New Hampshire ski and summer resort.
Welcome back to the YCN Game of the Week. Jeremy Stout, Andrew Zerhide, as we begin the fourth quarter of action here in Lebanon, New Hampshire, where the Raiders opened it up in that third quarter, Andrew. There's 4 touchdowns. They now have 5 unanswered touchdowns, 2 missed extra points, but other than that, they have really played almost flawlessly tonight. Could have been even more with the fumble that went out of the back of the end zone.
Yeah, that seemed like a big play for the Newport at the time, but they weren't able to capitalize.
Handoff, run to the right side, penalty flag coming from behind. That'll be a holding penalty most likely. Putting up 26 points in the third quarter are the Raiders.
Yeah, wow.
Penalties on the Raiders, holding.
Highlighted
10 yards.
by a couple plays, a 75-yard punt return for a touchdown. And then also a 60-yard touchdown run. So a couple big plays. That penalty goes against the Raiders. Holding penalty, it'll move them back. Ball will be spotted at their own 49-yard line. So they'll try it again. Second and long. Clock moving here. Man goes in motion. The handoff to the second running back. That's number 22, Rainey. He's had a big night so far.
Yes, he has. He's done a very nice job. And I mentioned earlier that he's also a basketball star for Lebanon. So two-way athlete. Really doing a nice job here tonight. All of Lebanon's running backs have been very effective.
Yeah, Wade Rainey with the interception in the third quarter that led to the eventual touchdown, which was his own, a 4-yard touchdown run, getting the extra point, and then later getting the 60-yard touchdown run to put the Raiders up 34-7. So had a big third quarter himself. 3rd and 12. Pitch to the outside. And the ball carrier is spun down. Number 15, Sullivan.
Nice tackle there by Gavin Lovely, Newport senior, one of their leaders. Didn't let the Newport or the Lebanon ball carrier get around him. One-on-one battle, and Gavin won that one.
So that'll bring up 4th down, 4th and 12. Sure, we'll see Lebanon punt, even though we're only at midfield, and they do have the big lead. You could go for it here, but at this point, punt the ball away and then play defense, as they have done so well tonight. Punt is away. The return man catching it and falling forward at the 20-yard line. And that's where Newport will take over. Inside 10 minutes to play. We'll take a break. You're watching the YCN Game of the Week.
On their own 22-yard line.
This YCN segment is brought to you by Lake Sunapee Visiting Nurse Association and Hospice.
Welcome back, YCN Game of the Week. Jeremy Stout, Andrew Zerhide. 9:57 to play here in the game. Newport with the football here after the forced
28,
punt.
Jagger Lovely on the carry.
Lovely with the carry, getting pushed out of bounds. Bring up
Gain of 4
second
on the
down
flag.
after a 4-yard gain, 2nd and 6.
Brings up second down. Ball's just past the Newport 27-yard line.
So not the way Newport envisioned opening up the season. They will drop their opening game, see if they can get a score here. And shut out so far in this half. Low snap, but picked up nicely by Ackerman. He is bull rushed immediately. Even though he picked up the snap
Tackle for a
nosely,
loss on the
the
flag.
offensive line has
88,
really
Caleb
had
Smith.
no protection at all. So Newport will hold on to the ball, but it will be a long 3rd down now. 3rd and about 22.
Yeah, there have been times tonight when I've felt like both quarterbacks
3rd and long.
have held onto the ball a little
11-yard
too
line.
long. They should have just gotten rid of it. We did see Williman from Lebanon try to do that once and got called for the intentional grounding.
This time they'll keep it on the ground, just handing it off up the middle to Lovely. Don't really need to throw an interception or get into any more trouble. So they'll just
Jagger
hand it
Lovely on
off
the carry, 37, Philip Mellish in on
as
the
we
tackle.
approach 9 minutes to play in the game.
Brings up 4th down.
Our next YCN game of the week will feature Hanover hosting Hollis Brookline right down the road. Most games premiere on Saturday night at 7 p.m. on WYCU and WYCI and at 5 p.m. on WYCX.
High snap over the head of the punter. He falls on it before it goes into the end zone. And it's going to be Lebanon football.
Yep.
That's going to go down
Punt was
as
down
a
on the Newport
fumbled
4-yard line.
snap,
It'll be
and
first
it will
and goal
be
for the Raiders.
1st and goal for the Raiders. And really, it's going to be a mere formality now, the way the Raiders have controlled the offense.
Yeah, that snap there, kind of the way the night's been going for Newport. Now Lebanon can easily score this one.
They have the ball marked just at the 5-yard line, I believe. And that'll be 1st and goal. 8:40 to play. I'd be surprised if it was anything but a handoff. And it is a handoff. And into the end zone goes the Raiders.
Touchdown
Number
Raiders.
36 on the carry.
36, Charles Chamley on the carry.
Charles Chamley there with the carry. Nice job by him. Another Lebanon running back having a solid night here.
That's their first touchdown of the 4th quarter. 4-yard run. See if they can convert the extra point. .8:35 to play. Kick is up, and it is
Flag on the
good,
play.
but there's a flag on the play. Going to have a false start.
Legal motion.
Illegal motion, so they're going to kick it again.
Point after attempt is no good. So with 8:35 to go in the game, your score, Raiders 46, Newport 7.
Today's telecast is being brought to you in part by MJ Harrington, jewelers and designers in Newport, New Hampshire. And you can watch any of our local shows anytime at ycnnow.com.
So the penalty on Lebanon, the extra point will be taken again, moving the ball backwards. 8:35 to
Illegal
play
formation.
here. 46-7. Lebanon has not had much luck on the last couple touchdowns. I believe missed both extra
Right.
points. Yes, they had the one that they missed off the upright and then one that was blocked. And that is the second time there's been a penalty. So, like we talked about, the special teams has been pretty good except this extra point unit. Ball down, kick is up, and that one's good. So
Point
they just
after attempt
put it
is
back a little
good.
further, and they still make it. 47-7 is the score. 8:35 to play here in the
With 8:35
fourth
to go,
quarter.
your
You're
score,
watching the
Raiders 47.
YCN Game of the Week.
Newport 7.
This YCN segment is brought to you by MJ Harrington and Company, jewelers and designers since 1948.
Welcome back to the YCN Game of the Week. Jeremy Stout, Andrew Zuride. 8:35 to play in this one. Lebanon Raiders in control, 47-7 over the Newport Tigers. Be a disappointing start to the season for the Tigers, and the Raiders moving up in the division, or moving down a division, excuse me, having some success in their first game, and as we see the kickoff return there, Bryce Willie brings it back to almost the 40-yard line. Going to be a flag on the play. Not sure. It may have been a late hit after the tackle or a holding call. And the call is going to go against Newport, holding penalty, so they'll move the ball backwards. But Newport will obviously continue with the football, and they'll start this drive. Not had much success in the second half. Struggle to move the ball, and turnovers have given this Raider team this 40-point lead with 8:22, and there will be running time now, except for, I believe it's all scores, penalties, injuries. Is that what it is, Andrew?
I believe so.
So, 47-7, Newport trying to put something on the board here in the second half. They've been shut out so far in the second half. Ackerman bootleg to the right, and he pitches it. Maybe a little bit late on the pitch, but
28,
the ball carrier, Lovely, gets a few yards. Good effort there.
Tackle by number 14, Austin Wickham. The second down, Newport. Ball's on their own 32-yard line.
So Newport will have 2nd and 8, 7:30 to play in the fourth quarter. Ackerman in the shotgun, man in motion. Fakes the handoff and then goes to the other side. Nice pitch there, but really not going to trick any Lebanon defenders.
7, Bryce Willie on the carry.
And only a few yards there to bring up third down.
Tackle by 33, C.J. Childs.
Clock continues to move, approaching 7 minutes to play.
Gain of maybe 1. It brings up third down.
Third down, ball at the 34-yard line of the Tigers. They need to get to the 39-yard line for a first down. So 3rd and 5. Ackerman in the shotgun. Here's the pitch. A lot of room on the right side. Who's going to get there first? And it is the ball carrier for the Tigers. Gets the first down, and they move the ball across the 40-yard line and move the chains.
Nice run there by the Tigers.
First down, Newport.
Their offense hasn't
Ball's on their
moved
own
the chains
43-yard
too many
line.
times here, at least in the second half, so I'm sure it would feel good for them if they could march down the field and punch in another touchdown.
Yeah, their score was what seems to be a long time ago. 2:30 to play in the second quarter was their lone score of the game. So inside 6 minutes now. Pitch to the left side. Nice run and another handful of yards.
Bryce Willie on the carry.
5-yard gain.
37, Philip Bellish.
So Lebanon
5 on the play, brings
defense,
up second
maybe
down, 5.
probably have
Ball's
some
Newport 48-yard line.
underclassmen in there, have some second string in there, and this Newport offense taking advantage of that a little bit. Moving the ball.
Yeah, definitely a good call by Lebanon, putting in some younger players, trying to get them some playing time experience and protecting their starters, of course.
Fakes the handoff and then a throw over Willie's head, and again, I don't want to call that one a drop, but another one that just off the fingertips of number 7.
Yeah, that was definitely a harder play for Bryce Willie to make. Wasn't a drop ball, definitely had to fully extend, maybe a little high over his head. Tough play to make, but Yeah, they haven't exactly been catching a ton of balls here on the Tiger side.
So Newport at 3rd and 5 now, approaching midfield. You would imagine 4 down territory at this point, and if they need it. And the ball is punched out. It's still loose. Looks like Lebanon has the football. They're calling for it. No signal yet. The ref puts the ball down, and it will be Lebanon football.
Well, the Raiders defense really having a really good night here, putting a
by
ton
the
of pressure on
Raiders. First
Newport's
down
Quarterback,
Raiders,
Ackerman.
48-yard line.
They've done a nice job forcing another turnover there.
I'd like to take this opportunity to recognize the Newport cheer team. It's been working hard. all
So
night
4
long
minutes
down
to
the
play
sideline.
here in
Under the
this one,
direction
and
of
Lebanon
Christy Whipple.
with the football at their own 48-yard line. 47-7. I don't think anyone expected this.
Yeah.
Start of the season, we knew it would be a game that was decided on the ground, but we
Right.
didn't think it would be over in the third quarter. And breaking past the line of scrimmage is the Lebanon ball carrier into the secondary, and a big
Number 10,
game
Coyote Pooney on
for the
carry.
Raiders.
That's number 10, Naoti
About
Pooney,
flying on
the
the play.
freshman running back. He was put in on defense just before on Lebanon's last defensive effort, but nice job by the freshman
First down
there.
Raiders.
Good run by Pooney. Had to go
Also
through a
the
number of
Newport
defenders.
28-yard line.
Rolled out to his right side, picked up a ton of yards. Definitely getting the attention of Lebanon's head coach Chris Childs. He loved that run. Loves to see the effort.
Inside 3 minutes to play here in this game,
Timeout.
but we
Newport.
are going to have a timeout, so we'll step aside. 2:56 to play. You're watching the YCN Game of the Week.
This YCN segment is brought to you by Mount Sunapee Resort. Fun for all seasons.
Welcome back, YCN Game of the Week. Jeremy Stout, Andrew Zerhide, 2:35 to play in this one. Raiders all over the Tigers, 47-7. Pitch to the
33
Raider
sequence
running
out
back,
carry.
and that was stopped at the line of
64.
scrimmage. So we are
Joshua
in running
Rossi.
time here with the 40-point lead.
Second down.
Raiders will be happy to get out of this one, opening their Division III schedule against the Tigers with a big win, 47-7, assuming the score holds here inside 2 minutes now, and then the Tigers dropping a tough one. They really expected more. They weren't sure what to expect this season, but they were hoping to get off on a better start than they have. So I'm sure they'll look to change things up next week. And that pass is complete, falls out of bounds. And
Pass complete,
Andrew, I
number
believe we
32,
will give
Jacob
away
Hittner.
some awards now. I don't know if we have decided on that.
Yeah, I think now's a good time to talk about our HR Clough Kearsarge Heating Turning Up the Heat Player of the Game. That's going to go
Third
to
down.
Lebanon's junior, Wade
Newport
Rainey.
20-yard line.
He had a big night here tonight, scored a couple touchdowns. I believe he had over 100 rushing yards, had a big interception, was really good on defense. Just a complete game for the junior, Wade Rainey. Congratulations to him, and congratulations to Lebanon on getting this win to start off the season.
Yeah, Wade Rainey with 2 of the touchdowns in that big third quarter. They scored 4 touchdowns in that third
Protect
quarter,
Naomi
putting up
Pooney on the
26
carry.
points. He scored 2 of them, kicked a couple extra points. So he was in on a lot of the action this game. That is our player of the game, as we are inside a minute now,
52, Gavin Lovely in on the tackle.
as the Raiders look to run the clock, wind this one down. Next week, Andrew, you have a game right up the road in Hanover.
Right, yeah, we'll be just right down the road, a couple minutes away. Hollis Brookline Cavaliers traveling to take on the Hanover Marauders. Nice NHIAA Division II football matchup. Make sure you tune in for that one.
So that'll be a good one, and that is going to do it here with the QB kneel down. 20 seconds to go, clock moving. That's going to do it. The Lebanon Raiders open up their Division III season with a convincing 47-7 victory over a Newport Tiger squad who they have not seen since 2001. And it will be interesting to see
And
if
that's
this
the end of
is
the game.
more to come from the Lebanon
47.
Raiders, and if they will
Newport 7.
have success in Division III, and if the Newport Tigers can bounce back after a tough loss to open the season. That is going to do it for us from Lebanon. Thanks to Alex and Greg. For Andrew Zerhide, I'm Jeremy Stout. Thanks for watching the YCN Game of the Week.